Okay, so after my most recent video, when we dived into that Variety article about all this DC nonsense, I've taken the time to calm down a little bit, a little more relaxed, and this is more so a video about theories than anything else. Anything I talk about here, there is absolutely no definitive information. I'm coming up with some ideas, and what we're going to be talking about is the 3-year slate for DC films that we are apparently supposed to be getting revealed this month. I think when you look at DC right now, there are 3 things that are absolutely confirmed. Number 1, Henry Cavill is not coming back as Superman. Number 2, there is no Wonder Woman 3. And number 3, Dwayne Johnson will not be returning as Black Adam. There are other things that aren't or are happening that are pretty much easy to tell. It's not rocket science to know certain things will or won't happen. But those 3 very pivotal things to a DC universe, the actors and their films, are not going to be moving forward. Another thing I think we need to keep in mind before I give some bold predictions, if you will, is James Gunn and Peter Safran's deal as CEOs. The contract they have is for the next 4 years. Yes, they have planned an 8 to 10 year plan, but as I just said, their contract is only for 4 years. There's no guarantee this 8 to 10 year plan actually goes through, especially if they start bombing their upcoming films and the universe is not doing well. They need to make it through 4 years first before they can get re-signed for another 4, 5, 6, how many more years. The first year of their DCU, let alone the very first movie of their DCU, will pretty much put into definition if their universe will continue or end before it even began. All right, so what's the plan? Where are we going here? What movies are they going to be announcing in this 3-year slate? A lot of my predictions, or bold predictions, if you will, are being based off of the movements I've seen within DC over the past couple weeks and months. They are just things I think James Gunn is going to do, and they are also things I think would be smartest for the brand moving forward. Now, these predictions will not entail casting choices. I haven't really thought about anything like that, and I'm still a little raw thinking about who could be the next Superman when we all have a profound love for Henry Cavill. Now, first things first, in the first 3 years that will be revealed to us, how many movies a year are we getting? Is it 1? Is it 2? Is it 3? And I think you have to find a middle ground. You cannot do what Marvel does today because DC does not have the trust from the audience to be able to get away with 3 movies a year. I think what they will do is the very first year of the DCU will start off with 1 film. And I think mainly because that's all they can afford right now. And because if they don't get this 1 movie right, what would be the point in moving forward with multiple films inside of this universe? The number 1 movie that will kickstart the whole DCU, which I don't think any of us should be surprised about at all, and it's something we should actually be getting as a beginning film, is the first Superman film. A film that is being clearly written by James Gunn and potentially directed by James Gunn. I hope not. I hope they find another director to do so, but we do know he's writing it, and he's even admitted that on his Twitter. Of course, the biggest concern about this Superman film, besides the fact it's not Henry Cavill, it's more of a beginner film where we get to see him as a journalist, a part of the Daily Planet in Metropolis, which we've seen far enough of. We don't need to see that anymore, but that's the direction they seem to be going. But based off of things that James Gunn has said, clearly this DCU is a reboot, but it is not a full-out start from scratch origin story reboot. This is a reboot where Superman knows of people around him. He knows there are other metahumans on the planet of which he is on. It's just a matter of now meeting one another. Now, all of that will not matter if the Superman film comes out and it doesn't do well. And well, in my opinion, is at least $500 to $600 million worldwide, and even 500 might not be cutting it. I think the film does need to make upwards of 600 million, and if it does not make that much money, it's probably over. Moving into year 2 and 3, they will pump up their productions to 2 a year. In year 2, I think this is where you will get a Batman movie, and believe it or not, you will get a Green Lantern film. Now, what's really interesting about this situation is when James Gunn reveals his slate and when he discusses the projects that are going to be coming out, I think he's going to be as vague as possible, because I don't think he wants to outright rule this as a full-on reboot with brand new actors for every single character. I don't think that's what he wants to do, at least not right now in 2023, when we still have old DCEU films to be released. Warner Brothers still needs to make money, even if it is $1, and if not compromising the continuity of the previous DCEU, then so be it. He will not tell us if it is Robert Pattinson or somebody new, and this is where my prediction comes in. I am starting to think that previously, when Zaslav said there wouldn't be 4 Batmans, I thought that meant there would only be one Batman. How else should you take that? Especially when they have been so concerned about making a solidified, connected universe. They want one DCU. They don't want multiple universes with stories of their own. Well, now I am starting to think that the 4 Batman statements actually means 2 Batmans. Would I be opposed to Robert Pattinson's Batman taking place in a DCU? No, I wouldn't. I do think there is a way to do it. Would I prefer him stay on his own? Sure, I got no problem with that either. I'm 50-50 with Robert Pattinson's Batman. I don't really care what they do there. For me, Batman's Batman. I will take it, but we do need to stay focused and more concerned on a primary DCU Batman. So we might be in another situation where we have a solidified Batman universe over here, but a primary DCU Batman over here. As for the second movie in year 2, I know I've been talking a lot on this channel about the Trinity, and the reason why I didn't choose Wonder Woman as the third movie to come out in the DCU is because I don't think they want to do so, and here's my reasoning for it. Gal Gadot is more than likely out. I do not think she's returning. So you get a new actress to play Wonder Woman, and not even a couple of years later, you make a new film of Wonder Woman with this new actress. Once again, it doesn't work the same way for some of these other characters. With Batman, you can do it because he is a money maker. He will make you money no matter what. The only reason a new actor, as Superman, is getting his own film is because we haven't had a primary Superman film since 2013. It's been 10 years and counting. I do not think they want to make another Wonder Woman film so soon after the most previous Wonder Woman with a new actor. I think they're going to leave a little bit of leniency with the Wonder Woman character. So because of that, why not use one of the most important characters in the DC universe, and frankly, a group of characters that actually make DC so unique and so special, the Green Lantern Corps or lanterns in general. I am in for a buddy cop film between Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. Some of the coolest Justice League villains and crisis events in comic books have come from the Lantern Corps. Yellow Lanterns, Red Lanterns, the Black Hand, which is the Black Lanterns. They have some of the greatest stories in comic book history. Green Lanterns have been on the sideline for far too long. We need a new rendition of Hal Jordan. We need to see Jon Stewart on screen. And another situation I look at this too is James Gunn has a lot of knowledge and skill in adapting these very niche space-like characters. He did it with Guardians of the Galaxy. He even did a little bit of it in Suicide Squad with Starro, which was the main villain. He can make a colorful and creative space world in DC with Green Lanterns. In my opinion, I don't think James Gunn is the best writer out there, and I think him as a director is 50-50. Although there's no denying he is creative and he's smart with his creativity, so why not tackle Green Lantern? And as much as the Trinity is important, what you do want to do is start to flesh out some of these other Justice League characters. Now, this is the boldest of the bold. And the reason why I'm saying this is the boldest of the bold, because this is actually something I would do if I was crafting a DCU. I don't know if this is something he will do. I doubt it, but I'm using it as my prediction. In year 3, we will get 2 more movies, but they won't necessarily be standalone films. You are going to get a Trinity film, and you are going to get a Justice League film. Once again, this all comes back to if Superman works. And if Superman works, things are going to get fast-tracked. I'm talking like full speed ahead, going Mach 50. There is no stopping. Churn these films out now. And I think the reason why I'm saying a Trinity film would get made is because of how much they have put emphasis on the Trinity within the past couple of months. I know Wonder Woman not getting her own film might make some people upset, but that will happen eventually if these movies succeed, and she now technically gets 33% of her own film alongside Batman and Superman. At one point, a Batman and Superman movie was out of this world. No one would have ever thought we would have gotten that, even in a world where superhero films are more expansive than they've ever been. And even though I love Batman vs. Superman, BVS is not a world's finest film. But how do you upgrade from a world's finest type of film and make it even a little more interesting? Well, you give us a Trinity movie. And within that Trinity movie, you mold it into a Justice League film. You could even do something where the Trinity film and the Justice League film is filmed back to back. Another reason why I think they would literally go balls to the wall and do a Trinity and Justice League film in year 3 is because I do want to give some credit to James Gunn. I think he is capable of understanding and realizing the picture that Warner Brothers and DC is in. No one wants origin stories right now. We don't need that for these characters. We know where these characters have come from. No one wants to see Batman's parents getting murdered again. No one wants to see Superman crashing from the sky into Smallville. No one wants to see Wonder Woman being bred into a goddess princess warrior. There are only a couple of Justice League type characters you could argue we should get a origin story for. And even then, I don't think it's necessary for an origin story. Origin stories can be easy nowadays too. You can make films that take place in the middle of someone's character arc or their story and just flash back to previous times in their life. Origin stories do not need to be the main focus of these films anymore. We want to get into the meat of DC, and the last thing we can do right now is go back from the beginning, and I think Gunn realizes this. And still adding in more tidbits to my Trinity and Justice League very bold prediction, I think James Gunn wants all of these actors to be similar in age. I think Gunn is going to look at these actors and actresses in the ages of late 20s to early 30s. I think he's going to go younger so that all of them have a long time to play the characters into the future, if this future ends up working. The way I see it is like this. Realistically, if they did not can Zack Snyder's vision, where would we be right now in 2023? Well, we would be on Justice League 3. We would be on his last film. James Gunn, however he feels about Zack Snyder's films, must realize that currently in DC, we should be in the middle, if not the ending of one saga of DC. We should be hitting that Darkseid war or getting into the next saga of DC. That is where we should be right now. And I think he realizes, all right, let's just get a couple of movies in, maybe 2 or 3 films in before we hit a Justice League or even a Trinity movie. I'm telling you right now, guys, a Trinity film would break records. I'm not even gonna say a Trinity film would make the highest grossing film of all time, but it would break other records. It would break weekend records, week records. It would break daily records. It would do a lot for DC. So that's what I got. Superman, Batman, Green Lantern, the Trinity, and Justice League. There's no point in revealing your full 8 to 10 year plan because, like I said in my previous video, there are likely things they would want to change as the years went on, and there is no guarantee we even make it past year 1. So even though we are getting the reveal of the first 3 years, there is a lot of things, like I said, that are going to be kept hush-hush. I think the only things that are going to actually be confirmed to us are the movies coming out. They're not going to tell us who's playing these characters. They're not going to come out and say, hey, here's Superman coming out in 2025 and it's going to be blah, blah, blah actor. They're not going to do that. They're not ready for that. I think what we should and can expect is just the announcement of a couple of these films, and then I think we'll maybe get a broad outline of where the DCU will be going starting from year 1 and what it will potentially look like moving forward into years 4, 5, 6, and so on. But there you have it, everyone. Those are my predictions for the DCU and what these 3 years could potentially look like. I know some are really easy to tell, like the Superman movie, that's not bold. Possibly even a Batman project, that's not bold. I think the Green Lantern one is somewhat 50-50. It's bold in the sense of, would we really get a Green Lantern movie? But it's not bold in the sense of, yeah, finally we get a Green Lantern movie. And then year 3 is the boldest of them all. A Trinity film and then a Justice League film. They're just hitting you in the face back to back with 2 massively blockbuster films in a time that you could argue, are we ready for 2 massive films like that? Or finally 2 massive films like that? It just depends on how you want to look at DC right now. Let me know in the comments below what you think of my predictions, and let me know your predictions. Let me know what you think we're gonna see from this 3-year slate. But that's all I got for you on this one, everyone, and until next time, I will talk to you all very soon.